Hello and welcome to the Southeast Iowa Union News Break. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. Top story today, the Washington County Fair is just around the corner. The fair will kick off this Sunday, July 17th and run until Friday, July 22nd. Fair Board Vice President Kurt Dahlmeyer says there will be new additions to this year's fair on top of traditional festivities. Fairgoers can buy a season pass for $25 or a day pass for $10. Once you are in the fair, everything is free. After near record attendance last year, the bar is set high for this year's county fair. Dahlmeyer says you're guaranteed to see or experience something new. Washington County ISU Extension 4-H and Youth Coordinator Amy Green said kids' participation for the 22 fair showed promising trends with all project areas up from the previous year. Some pre-pandemic programming is set to return to this year's fair, such as Pride of Iowa, which is a food tasting exhibition. A full schedule of the 2022 Washington County Fair events the week of July 17th and 22nd through 22nd can be found on the group's website, WashingtonCountyFairIA.com. Both Amy Green and Kurt Dahlmeyer will be on the Washington Live morning show. On July 15th, Amy Green will be on and Kurt will be on July 18th. Hundreds of excited kids showed up to see, hold, and learn about a vast variety of bugs at the Washington Public Library Tuesday afternoon, which hosted the ISU Insect Zoo for the summer reading program. Library Director Carrie Ann Siegfried said the day was a big day for the summer reading program, drawing 150 to 200 people. The touring insect display program visits over 200 libraries in schools every year, according to the students from the Iowa State University who run it. Over in Ainsworth, the city of Ainsworth plans to sell a building on the corner of Railroad Street downtown after public speakers at a city council meeting Tuesday night signaled their interest in buying it. The building became municipal property just last month when the council agreed to buy it from the previous owner. City Council member Jared Waters says, quote, "The building was falling down in our minds and wasn't safe. The guy didn't have the funds to fix it and we're tired of the mess and the people asking what's going on with it. He wanted more time, and we ended up purchasing the building." Waters said the city would be happy to offload the space as soon as possible, but needed more details from any interested buyers before reaching an agreement. The city is considering some options to help fund any renovations to the building downtown, which is currently dilapidated and legally declared, quote, "unsafe to occupy." WEDG Director Mary Audia said available funds would depend on the building's new use. Quote, "For housing uses, it depends on what kind of demographic you're going to have in that building." She said, "If you convert to housing and it's a lower middle income housing client you want in there, there's definitely funding available for that. If that's going to be veterans, there's funding possibilities for that," end quote. Housing does look like the likely purpose for the structure on 212 Railroad Street, according to interested potential buyers at the meeting. Still, funding opportunities are limited, competitive, and often come with delays. City Clerk Cheryl Smith said that might be too many hoops to jump through. Quote, "There's quite a lot that goes into that application, a lot of work that needs to be done, so it's not just a real simple application, it's something we need to get started on," end quote. She said about state derelict building grants, quote, "My concern is these kind of programs don't move fast," end quote. Councilmember Ron Greiner agreed that timing was a major concern. Quote, "I feel like we've got to just get rid of it," he said. "Walk away and say goodbye, but have a guarantee that something's going to be done with it," end quote. The city has not sold public property in recent memory. Mayor Troy McCarthy said it would need some time to take precautions. Quote, "We will find out from the lawyers what our options are, and next meeting we'll figure out how we need to proceed. But yes, we want to get rid of it. We want it fixed up rather than torn down." Those are the top stories, and now we move into obituaries. Barbara E. Curry of Maquoketa passed away on Friday, July 8th at the age of 62. She is survived by her 5 siblings. The Carson Celebration of Life Center in Maquoketa is in charge of arrangements. Doris Diane Crocker of Newport's News, Virginia, passed away on Tuesday, July 5th at the age of 62. She is survived by her 2 siblings, 9 nieces and nephews, 19 great-nieces and nephews, 3 great-great-nieces and nephews, as well as her service dog, Breeze. Graveside services will be held on Monday, July 18th at 11 a.m. at the Peninsula Memorial Park in Newport News, Virginia. Murphy Funeral Home in Mount Pleasant is caring for her arrangements. Jonathan Wayne Hoos from Albia passed away Tuesday, July 5th, at the age of 32. Funeral services will be held from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Monday, July 18th at Albia High School. Tony E. Bieber of Mount Pleasant passed away Saturday, July 9th at the age of 72. Friends may call from noon to 8 p.m. on Thursday at the Kimsey Funeral Home. The family will be present to receive friends from 5 to 7 p.m. Thursday evening. Rosario Rose Eldridge of Washington, Iowa passed away Sunday, July 10th at the age of 55. She is survived by her husband, Bill Eldridge, her son, Liam Eldridge, her sister, and several nieces and nephews. Services will be held at 10:30 a.m. Thursday, July 14th at the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints in Washington. Jones and Eden Funeral Home are in charge of the arrangements. We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back with the week's weather and sports. Welcome back to the Southeast Iowa Union News Break. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. It is time for the weather. It is currently 86 degrees, but feels like it is 89 degrees. It is mostly sunny, but will clear off for the rest of the day. This evening it will drop down to 72 degrees and drop down even more to 66 degrees at night with the clouds returning. Tomorrow's high is 85 degrees and it will be partly cloudy. Clouds may turn into rain later tomorrow night with temperatures falling down to 68. Looking to Friday, there will be scattered thunderstorms in the morning, but should stop by the afternoon. The high will be 87 and the low is 70. Thankfully, the rain will take a brief break on Saturday, but the clouds will remain. The high will be 88 with temperatures dropping to 68 at night with the storms returning. There's a chance of the occasional bit of rain for Sunday with a high of 86, but it will clear off come nighttime and drop to 66 degrees. We'll begin next work week with the return of the sun, but with the sun comes the return of the heat, with temperatures being in the low 90s all of next week. Now it's time for sports. Mid-Prairie Baseball is heading to state after an inspiring 3-1 win against West Marshall. It was sophomore Carson Grout who got the start for Mid-Prairie, who was 18-10 heading into the game. He struck out the first batter and then walked the second, gripping his left elbow. He played first base for the bottom of the first and then played the rest of the game. With the trip to stay on the line, Mid-Prairie was left without arguably their best pitcher. It was Colin Miller who was the one that stepped up. Quote, "I saw his arm go," Miller said. "I don't know how our team was going to respond or how I was going to respond, but I knew I had to get up on the mound and pick up how he left off. Get in there, find my locations. My curveball was working, but they were swinging and missing. Everything seemed to be working, and working it was." Miller allowed just a single run and struck out 12 in the 6 emergency innings. On offense, Mid-Prairie scored 3 runs in the top of the first inning, which proved enough for the win. Kane Brown left with a single to center, then it was a walk and a single to the right side by Grout despite his injury. A bases-loaded walk to Alex Bean put Mid-Prairie on the board. A flubbed grounder to shortstop scored another run, and Tyler Helmuth, RBI, ground out to third base, provided all the runs the Golden Hawks would need. Miller continued to stymie West Marshall, who was 28-9 heading into this game. The Trojans scored a run in the 5th and had runners at 2nd and 3rd with none out in the 6th, only to have Miller strike out 3 straight batters. Freshman lefty Brady Weber came on to pick up the last 2 outs of the game after Miller hit his pitch count. This is the 2nd state tournament appearance in 3 years for Mid-Prairie. Congratulations to them, and we hope Carson's elbow heals quickly. That's the news for Washington, Iowa today. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time.